And also, like, I think being blinded by love is a huge thing. You kind of really push yourself to make something work that you kind of can see is not working. And I think
Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Stay Show. I have new guests for the Stay Podcast. My name is Carlos Emmanuel Escobar Reyes. I know I screwed up in the first video. I did my name reversed. My middle name, I used it as Carlos Escobar Emmanuel Reyes. So I went first name, middle name, and last name. Yeah, I have two last names. So yeah, once again, Carlos Emmanuel Escobar Reyes. I have a new guest once again, like I said. Recurring guest, Matias, aka Chamba. You guys know him already. Well, that's my nickname for him. Today I'm very excited. I've from the first couple of videos, I've gotten some good feedback, some good critique. I want to say first of all, thank you to everybody for the opportunity that you guys have watched us and allowed us to communicate with you guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys have taken some maybe some advice, some words from us. And if you didn't, it's okay. I just want to have a conversation with you guys, like I told Eduardo, the new Eduardo, and the new Joey last time. But no, I'm kidding. But yeah, so I want to say thank you once again, and hopefully you guys enjoy this new topic. I will let my new friends, introduce themselves properly, and yeah, so you guys can take it. You want to go first?
Sure. Hi guys, my name's Fernando. I've known Carlos for about 6 years now, I think.
No, wait, more,
Probably my whole life. He's known me, but I haven't known him that long.
that is true.
But yeah, he's a good friend, and I'm happy to be here, be able to be part of this podcast, and yeah, I'm excited.
How old are you, man?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
What do you do?
I'm 22.
Yeah.
I'm 22 years old. No, I'm in school right now. I'm studying criminology, trying to get my degree in that, and hopefully become a cop in the future.
Awesome, that's great. So thank you for sharing. Now you want to go?
I'm Natalie. I'm 23. Well, turning 23 soon. I recently graduated from Blanche doing skin and aesthetics. And I'm currently going to start a new job, hopefully. So
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing, you guys. I have a question for you guys. How do you guys feel right now? Like, be honest. How do you sitting in these chairs?
nervous.
Nervous? How about you, Fernando?
Excited.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. Now, Matias, do you want to introduce yourself again for people that may not know you?
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous.
You can move the
Oh, I can move this. Oh, hold on.
like the angle. You can move the
Oh,
angle.
there you go. I can move. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Matias. I am 26. I am a massage.
Sorry, he brain farted. He was like, what?
I'm a massage therapist, the good kind again. Just a reminder,
The good kind.
the good kind. And yeah, I'm happy to be here again. Thanks.
All right. Once again, thank you, everybody. I just want to say the new topic, since we did relationships, we're going to go through the cycle now. Well, usually you should have started single. Everybody's born single, obviously, yes. And then you have a relationship, then you go through the breakup. I mean, God forbid, right? But sadly, that happens in our lives to everybody. And if not, then good for you, you rare unicorn. So today's topic, we went from relationships, a three-parter, and now we're going to talk about the breakup. Wale, the good song. That's just a secret. That's inside joke. Yeah, so breakups. That's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about breakups and general questions. What you feel, what you go through, or maybe why. If we get personal, if we're comfortable with that, we're not gonna name drop. This is a safe space, and I hope we can rebound and learn from each other and have a good conversation with you guys. I'm gonna just randomly ask the first question that's on top of my head right now, for us to have a foundation, so we can build into the more personal questions per se. And the first question is, how many breakups have you had? Right. So how many breakups have you had? I don't know if you guys want to comment. I've had one comment officially on YouTube, but many comments through Facebook and through Instagram, and I appreciate that. So yeah, like whatever. Like, does anybody want to start, or should I start?
I've only had one breakup, but I've had it a few times with the same person.
So one breakup with the same person,
Yeah.
but a couple of times. Okay, all right. How about you, Fernando?
One breakup as well.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Matias?
3.
Dang. I'm on the same boat with Matias. 3.
Damn.
Yeah. But this is a good thing. I just want to say, well, you can look at it as a good thing, but it's all like our friend Joey said, it's all perspective, right? You can learn a lot from one breakup, or you can continue doing the same things in other relationships and may have not learned, and that is not smart. So yeah. I guess the next question we can ask is, why did these breakups occur? So we can start off like that. If you guys want to talk a little bit in depth, that's up to you. But if you guys want to just keep it straight, pointed, general details, then that is welcome as well.
I mean, I guess I'll go first.
Thank you.
I've been with like the same person, but I was very young, so I guess like just kind of growing up with someone that's also in like older or whatever, it just tends to become harder. You don't know a lot of things, it's new. So I technically, like, I broke up with one person once, but it was like on and off, so I count each of those like as a breakup because I learned something new every single time. But I think it was just, like the maturity level, like on both sides were different in different parts in our lives. I didn't know myself, so a lot of things are kind of complicated learning each other. And I think it's kind of been the same for like all of them. Like even my latest one is kind of like that as well. So,
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I forgot, before anybody else continues, I forgot. So basically all our statuses right now, is it okay if I can share?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I can share? Okay. We all are single right now and have broken up fairly recently. I guess you and I can, you and I have are in that zone right now. It's been how long from your last relationship?
Almost about a year now.
Almost a year?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think Matias, it's been a while from a serious relationship. So yeah. Now, the next question I would like to ask you guys, what did you guys learn from this relationship and this breakup specifically? Because we all are different. We all learn different things. In high school, you may learn, as your first, just general saying, as your first girlfriend, you will learn this much, or boyfriend, and then you guys break up in grade 11, 10, 12, whatever, or even after, like you said, you learned different things every single time that you guys have broken up, and per relationship you'll continue growing and growing and growing, and I think that's awesome. But obviously there's sometimes we find flaws in other people, but sometimes the finger that we're pointing at, there's a common denominator. It's us.
It's like the Spider-Man meme.
Exactly, right? It's like we're all pointing like this, but look at the other fingers pointing at us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the question. What did you guys learn about the breakup. I mean, about that relationship and the process of breaking up.
Well, I think something that I've learned is just really getting to know yourself better, and just being able to really accept yourself for who you are, and be able to understand that sometimes things don't work out when you want them to. So things aren't always going to be going your way. There's always going to be rough patches in your life. And sometimes I think that's when you grow the most, because you're able to overcome certain situations, and not just relationships, but like even other things in life, like finding a job for the first time. It's tough. Like you go into your first job, you're nervous, it's your first day, you don't know what to do. You try and stick to everything. You're so precise in everything. You want to do everything right. You're gonna end up doing something wrong, right? You're not gonna be perfect. And I think that's the same thing for relationships. You can't be perfect. Yeah, there's people. Everyone's human, and you learn that everyone's human. There's gonna be mistakes. There's gonna be situations that you can't solve, and being in a relationship requires you to work together and try and solve the problems if you really are up for it. If that's the person that you're aspiring to be with, right? So I think that's something that I've learned.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're trying to fix things, or try to amend things that we didn't even know existed.
Yeah, and sometimes you just don't know Sometimes you just don't know when if things are right or wrong, and you think things are right, but they're actually wrong. So
You're like blinded by love.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. It's tough though, because you don't always know like what Carlos is saying, like, and like what Natalie said. We're so in love, I guess, is the thing. It's you're blind. So yeah, it's interesting.
The more relationships, hopefully in general, you have had, the less blind you will be, because you already understand the precautions and the flaws about yourself and maybe the potential other person, and you'll learn like, oh, I don't like this thing, so I'm going to try to find a person that doesn't have this thing, or etc. Right? Yeah, like you'll be more secure about yourself, hopefully, about once you grow in different relationships, even in friends, right? So yeah, that's very true. So would you like to share next, Natalie?
I think I'm kind of overwhelmed with a lot. I think that this breakup, like recently, was the one that I've kind of really looked and learned a lot of things, mostly about myself. Like I said, I think it's really important to know kind of who you are in it, like have a good sense before getting with somebody. Because again, like you said, you need to know like what works for you. Sometimes your want and what you need is very different. I think for me, this one, like I said, it was discovering a lot of things about myself, and sometimes I would realize things that were a little bit too late. So I guess just meaning like my character wise, why I was kind of a certain way. And also, like, I think being blinded by love is a huge thing. You kind of really push yourself to make something work that you kind of can see is not working. And I think, and it's been really hard. And like, I had multiple breakups due to that, like just really trying to make it work. And I think now that like I've gotten a little bit older, and I was told a lot of things that were kind of hurtful to me, in a sense where it's like I didn't know those things about me, and I was like, no, I'm not like that. But then I kind of like was like, no, I am like that, and it's not really okay. And it was just a lot of self-learning for myself, and now I kind of know what I need to look for, what I need to do for myself in order to, if I ever want to be in a new relationship again. But I also think I've learned a lot of things. I learned how to, what not to do mostly. Like my communication sucked. Listening and hearing is something very different. They're not the same.
Would you say that's a big aspect in the female mind in general? Correct me if I'm wrong, right? you know, like I know guys have problems. You know, we're there, but we're not there. Sometimes we're just we're hearing, like you said, but we're not really listening. But sometimes, like we were talking about this the other day, we are there and we sometimes are actually listening. It's just maybe you guys just want the eye attention, the eye contact. But hey, these are things that I didn't know as well. So, you know, it's a learning process for everybody, right? So, yeah. Thank you. Matias?
Okay. Damn, bro. I'm gonna go with the Christianese answer. It's so funny because, yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me? Am I still on? Okay.
Yeah.
So I've had 3 breakups. And it's so funny because
What's so funny? Tell me el chisme.
so my first relationship was when I was 15. Obviously, you have no idea what relationships are at 15. You're a kid. But that relationship was the one that led me to Christ. My first girlfriend was pastor's daughter, actually. And, yeah, and my last one was a pastor's sister. So God has been calling me since every relationship.
There's an issue here. Maybe it might be you.
So it's so funny because, you know, like every relationship has had a purpose in my life. Starting with the first one, that's when I met Christ. When I met Jesus, in my teen years, and then my second one, that's just high school stuff. That was the rebellious stage. But then the third one was God actually calling me back, which was pretty interesting. Yeah, I see it more as like they've all had a purpose evolving. How do you think revolving God, which is pretty cool and interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's you. You know, you strike to everything. You know, like out of in the aspect of the pastor's like daughter, and then the pastor's sister. What else is left? The pastor's like grandmother. Like, you know. I'm obviously joking, but yeah, that's I like how you said that. How these relationships have the first girlfriend that you had brought you to Christ.
Yeah.
Second one is like, okay, it's like real life too. The second one, you is the rebellious one.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? Like, you know, a lot of new Christians, you know, they know Christ for a couple of months, couple of years, and then they're like, oh, I don't feel that flame or that spark anymore. And okay, I think it's okay to do this, do that, do this, do that, and still call myself a Christian, which is not correct. And we all know that here. And then you realize that's the rebellious stage, and then you realize couple months, years down the road, whoa, like something's wrong with me. I feel empty or yada yada. Then you meet a person, and that person, you know, like the third relationship would be God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's bringing you back, calling you back.
Yeah.
You know, and then you find yourself out of that rebellious stage again, and now you're restarting or rekindling that flame with the Lord. Which, you know, I appreciate you saying that a lot. Yeah. Which is, well, I'm in that stage right now. Yeah. Rekindling, rekindling my flame with the Lord. I've tried to keep it genuine, and I do think it is genuine. And, you know, do not, from our conversations with other friends and you, you know, even you, Fernando, like, do not do things for the other imperfect human, but do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you are the first imperfect human that needs to take care of. You know, basic saying. How can you love somebody, or how can you take care of somebody when you can't even do it yourself?
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Matias.
That's the what was the question again? Sorry, I forgot.
No, the question.
What did I learn?
Yeah, what did you learn about those relationships? Per
stage? Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
like I didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
The most I've learned was with my last relationship. Um, After coming back to Christ, after coming back um to church, God was like, okay, now that you're back, I'm gonna take it away. Right? That's what I learned from that relationship, and it hurt because I was in love, obviously, and when the breakup happened, I felt like I was a little bit depressed and anxious, and like, man, I want to go back. And I remember exactly when it happened. I bought a plane ticket to back to my country to be with my dad. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, you actually invited me to go. I remember that.
And then so
Thanks for the invite.
so I went back 3 weeks after that happened, thinking that going back was gonna fill that void in my life, but it didn't. I was there for 3 weeks, and I even took my dad on a trip, and just to like get my head out of the game. But I was trying to seek comfort in people rather than God, and that is the lesson that I learned the most in all the relationships that I had. Like, no matter what, no matter who, always find your comfort in God, right? When I came
Amen.
back, I was feeling the same way that when I left. You know what I'm saying?
So
So
nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Yeah, you're trying to run away literally from your problems.
Exactly. And it was until I realized that all that pain, all that frustration, all that anxiety, gloominess, only God could take it away. Right? That was the main lesson that I've learned out of all of my relationships, is not to depend on a person, but to depend on God. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you. Another interest here. I just found another question. This time I'm going through different sites, multiple sites, to find different questions in different regards of a breakup. So hopefully I can cover whatever questions you guys are asking through the screen. I found another cool question I'm gonna ask. Did you guys see any patterns through the relationships? Any patterns where that has showed up in your previous relationships that, like, whoa, I didn't see this coming, but
But you did.
but you did, exactly. Yeah. Have you found anything, or no?
Me?
Well, I mean, yeah, like, I mean,
Why?
I know you have.
Why?
You've only,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I was blindsided. I don't know. I just didn't see really anything. But yeah, like, I didn't see any patterns that maybe in my relationship, but maybe in, not like in romantic relationships, but maybe like in friendship relationships. I've also been able to see things that I personally don't like, or things that aren't gonna help me grow as a Christian, as a person. And seeing that in friends or in relationships, like out of like not romantic relationships, and friendships. Yeah, I've seen things that maybe have caught my eye and I haven't liked, or haven't seen that it's gonna be of benefit for myself. And I've put myself, or tried at least to put myself out of that situation. But at the same time, it's tough, right? It's tough because you're always wanting to go back to those what are they called? What would you call them? Toxic relationships, like, or
toxic.
like, yeah, you just want to be, there, right? You want to be there. You want to be with those friends, that group of friends that you know aren't up to any good, but you know that you shouldn't be there. But yeah, I think those types of patterns I've been able to spot. I'm not too good with other patterns that I'm not able to spot them, I guess, that easily yet. But I guess with time and just growth and being able to understand more and yeah, and see how different people act and different people behave, I'll get to understand.
Yeah, he's not talking about you boys. You know, boys, who you are. We love you guys. You guys will be on the podcast soon.
Those aren't friend. That's not friendship. That's brotherhood right
Those
there.
are brothers right there. Hey,
Brotherhood.
exactly. Excuse me. Yeah, Natalie, did you see any patterns? Like, because you said you broke up with this person multiple times. So, what? Obviously, there is a pattern. So, feel free to explain.
Yeah, there was a lot of patterns. It just seemed that kind of we realized that things aren't really working out. But I mean, it's difficult because also usually the person that you're with, you have a friendship with, right? So it's like I also don't want to lose like my best friend or something, right? And then it just kind of becomes either too hard to maintain a friendship after, or like it kind of you lose both. So I think a lot of the times our cycle was, okay, we're not working out, but then we had that attachment of, okay, but you're still my friend, or I've known you for so long and I know you so well, I'm comfortable. And then you stay there, and then you end up coming, like, you don't really change anything. And then you're just kind of like doing this weird thinging with each other. And then you're like, okay, well, let's just get back together. But then you don't heal from anything, and you haven't really actually dealt with anything. So you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I think, sorry if you hear me go, I'm really cold. So that was kind of what the pattern was. I think at this point now, though, it's been such a long time, and we both are a bit older now, so we're kind of like, you know what, like, it just might not be something that God wants for us, or something that we have to do separate. Like, you just never know what's down the road. And I think that now it was just kind of like, we need to grow. And I think we finally kind of came to realize what the patterns were, and just be like, hey, we need to fix this, and then like just do it the proper way, because it was like a cycle, and like that's not healthy.
Yeah, Matias? You want to say
Yeah. Oh, I just have like, I like agree like with Natalie. I have like kind of the same perspective, I guess, if that's what you would call it. But yeah, just like it's tough because you don't really want to lose. It's like you're losing two relationships, like what Nat said. You're losing a friendship, like you're losing a friend, and you're losing obviously a partner. So it's like it's tough, right? Because you see yourself with this person, right, for like the rest of your life. Usually that's what I guess you would see someone in, and when you're in a relationship, and then it's tough because you cherish so many moments and so many like nice moments, beautiful moments that you want to continue and just relive and throughout your life, right? So I think
it's also you don't want to
be alone.
No, it's you just don't ever want to do those things again with someone else. It feels wrong.
It feels weird. It
feels
just feels
man.
weird. It feels like it's not. It doesn't fit. Yeah, you don't want to do it with someone else.
I think it's a lot to do, because on your other podcast, right? You guys are saying like what's the point of dating, and I'm kind of like Eduardo. Yeah. Whereas like I'm dating you. Like there's that part, right, where it's like a thing, right? You're figuring out whatever. And when you're dating, you kind of already know, right? You're still it's just the details that you're still like figuring out. But I think at that point, once you start dating and you kind of get to know the family, whatever, like I'm thinking like
this
ahead.
Is something real. Like you want to build a strong foundation and everything.
Exactly. Yeah. So, which also comes along with the cycles too, right? Because when you see something going wrong, you're like, no, I know, like I don't want to lose this because this is what I'm thinking, right? So. I think it has a lot to do like the way that we feel is because every time we're with somebody, it's not just for fun or like, oh, I'm still seeing how they are. It's like, I'm thinking about stuff, right? So it hurts a little bit more. And I think that's what's scary of breaking up with someone. Like to me, I don't want to even watch like a show that we would watch together. It makes me feel weird. So things are just not the same. And I think it's just like that for everybody, or at least for us Christians, because we value it a bit more than, I mean, I'm assuming, right? From how I've seen people deal with breakups, it's very different than how we do.
Yeah. How about you, Matias? Did you see any patterns, or do you don't have to answer? But
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah?
I'm cool.
Okay.
We're keeping it real.
100.
100. So, man, I guess for me it was like the daddy issues in my life.
Otra vez, man.
Daddy. Yeah, no, dealing with them starting when I was 15. Something happened in my first relationship. When it came to trust, trust was broken, and I carry that to my next relationship and my next relationship, to the point where I would question each relationship in a way that if they were being honest and faithful, because of my first relationship. So I guess that carried on, and yeah, I just realized it after the three that damn, bro, like
Damn.
like damn, bro, like I carried that from the minute that I was hurt from my first one until my last one, and that was a gap of, I would say, 8 years, and yeah, and I never stopped to realize like that was the cause of why I was acting the way I was acting with my next two relationships after my first one. So yeah, man, trust is big, dog. Yeah.
It is trust. Trust. Basic key words for a relationship: trust, communication, honesty. What else? What do you guys would say?
Respect.
Faithfulness.
Accountability.
Respect.
Respect.
Accountability.
Sorry. Yes, respect.
Yeah,
Accountability.
Yeah.
Any more words? No, I think that's good for now. But yeah, no, thank you for answering that question, you guys. I just found another question right here.
Sent by one of
Uh,
you in the comments.
Did these relationships, these breakups, bring the best out of you or the worst out of you? Did it help, like, did it help you in some regards? It made you, this, it made you that, or made you feel even worse in here, or made you feel even worse in that?
I want to start. Can I start?
Yes, Matias.
Yes, you're allowed.
Am I allowed?
Yes,
you're
yes, you're allowed.
Wow. Okay.
You're welcome.
Like I said at the beginning, there's every relationship had a point in my life, had a purpose, and that purpose was Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Amen.
if I didn't have gone through all the pain, all the struggles, like I wouldn't, I would be far from Christ or have no Christ. You know what I'm saying? And I always see it this way. I see pain as, a woman giving birth. You know what I'm saying? It's painful. I mean, I'm not a woman, but I'm assuming it is. It's painful. But something beautiful comes after that, right? And in my relationships, that's my experience. Like, sure, there was pain because of my lack of patience. Like, I shouldn't even be dating at 15. Like, what the heck? Who dates at 15?
It's the hormones.
That's dumb. Let's put it this way. It's dumb. I would never tell you to date at 15. You're wasting your time. Even at 23, 24, 25, you can start maybe.
Just play Call of Duty for a while, and
exactly.
yeah.
Get it all out of your system.
But yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, my struggles. But most of all, I learned to love God, right? Doesn't mean that I'm perfect and I'm holy, but I'm a man in process to that. I'll never be perfect, but I'm in process. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Matias. Do you want to answer this one?
I would say it brought the worst in me. I just felt like there was a lot of like unresolved issues in my own personal life that I didn't know, And I mean, anyone that really knows me, I've always kind of been like solo. Like it's always just been me or like one close friend. Like I'm not that I don't get along with people well. It's just I'm just used to being by myself. So when I had to really learn somebody else and then see like how they are in certain things, or I think what it is that my mindset was mostly on me and not the other person, which I think is something that a lot of people might not really focus on. Like even when you're arguing, it was very hard to be like, okay, well, why are we fighting each other? Like we should be on the same team, right? Like trying to figure it out, not fighting each other. And so I mean, I've also always kind of been a little bit pleitista and like, you know, like, yeah.
Is that a Spanish thing, or is that a what is that? Or maybe is that something how you were born or you've seen a lot?
I think that just comes from family. Like my cousins all would fight, and we like UFC. All the sports that I like excelled in were like rugby. And kickboxing, right? Like I competed in those things. So that for me was an outlet, but at those times I wasn't actually kind of in like a relationship. So I guess now like I don't have it. So a lot of things that would just tick me off, I was very short-tempered or very like in my own thinking, not really thinking about the other person until it was too late. You know what I mean? Like the damage kind of had already been done. I've already said what I did. And then I'd be like, oh man, like, you know, I'm sorry, but then I would do it again, and it's like, okay, but are you sorry really?
Are you really sorry?
Like sorry means like you won't do it again, right? Yeah. And like me aproveché, like I would say that and do it again and again, but for me it was getting worse and worse, and my temper was just like not having it, and it was happening to both of us, right? So, however, we had like an amazing relationship also, like best friends. So it's kind of both, but I usually right now I'm kind of looking at like the bad things just to observe, to see, oh man, like I'm kind of out of it now, so I'm looking at from outside in, and I'm like, man, like what did I do? Right? Or like there's just so many things I could have handled better, and I wish I did. But I mean, like, I'm just kind of, like, going through everything that I did. Like, the way that I spoke, sometimes it was unintentional. I found that sometimes if you guys kind of go through something tough, you have to be very careful that you're paying attention, because sometimes you can resent someone without knowing. And
that is very key.
It's very, it's a very slippery slope, and it kind of just sneaks up on you. And you kind of are like, in denial, like, no, like I'm not resenting you, because you think like, how could I? But I think for me it was resentment a little bit, and not just with who I was with, but also like things in my personal life. So separating those things too is also difficult. I do not suggest having relationships very young, because it's very hard.
Yes. But to play devil's advocate, my number one answer to go against that, even though I'm not against it, just, to play devil's advocate, hormones. You're 15, 16, 17, you're like, whoa.
Like, do you even know what you want?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like,
why would you want to open that door, though?